Beware of the covert narcissist. The overt narcissist is loud. They take the room. They demand the spotlight. They are easier to spot. The covert narcissist does not announce themselves. They arrive humble. They arrive helpful. They arrive as the safe one in the room. They tell stories of being misunderstood. They mention how others have hurt them. They position themselves as the quiet, sensitive, deep-feeling person you are lucky to have on your side. And by the time you realize the relationship has been a slow extraction, you are already entangled. This is not a piece about diagnosis. It is a piece about pattern recognition and about what your body has been trying to tell you for a long time. Why this matters? Most people miss the covert narcissist because they are looking for the loud one. They are looking for arrogance, bragging, bombast, covert narcissism over overt narcissism with better marketing. It looks like the friend who is always supportive until you succeed past them. The mentor who guides you towards their own visibility, not yours. The colleague who is humble in public and competitive in private. The partner who is gentle until you assert yourself. The family member who is generous with help that comes with hooks. The covert narcissist does not announce themselves. They audition for the role of the safest person in the room. Their humility is the costume. Their need to be central is the body underneath. For marginalized leaders, especially the covert narcissist, is a particular danger. They gravitate towards people who are visible, capable, generous, trying to break new ground. They use the language of allyship, mentorships, support. They make themselves indispensable. They become entangled in your story until your wins begin to feel like betrayals to them. The cost is rarely visible early. It accumulates until you wake up one day and notice that your life has been quietly bent around the gravity of someone else's fragile center. The patterns worth watching. This is not a checklist for diagnosis. It is a list of patterns to notice over time. The pattern is the proof, not any single moment. They exult when you succeed. They do not say it directly. They go quiet. They withdraw warmth. They make a small comment that hurts more than it should. Your win becomes their wound. Their support has hooks. They help, but the help is collected. Later, when you assert yourself, the help is suddenly evidence of how much they have given you. It was never freely given. It was an investment. They tell every story with themselves at the center. Even when the story is yours. Even when the harm is yours. Even when the celebration belongs to someone else. The narrative always returns to their feelings, their effort, their experience. They use humiliation as a weapon. Self-deprecation that demands reassurance. False modesty that fishes for praise. Oh, I'm sure I just did it wrong. Said until you correct them twice. They never apologize cleanly. Apologies become a vehicle for recentering themselves. I'm sorry you felt that way. I'm just so sensitive. I take everything to heart. I'm working on it. I've been through so much. The apology is for them, not for you. Your body tells you something is off long before your mind does. You feel tired after seeing them. You feel small in their presence. You start performing for them without realizing it. You begin to question your own perceptions. If your wins make them sad, that is information. The cost of staying entangled. It shows up in the body. A chest that races around them. A tiredness that follows their text. A chronic sense that you have done something wrong. A vague unsteadiness about your own perceptions. It shows up in your story. Your wins begin to feel like risk. Your boundaries begin to feel like cruelty. Your truth begins to feel like an attack on them. It shows up in your leadership. Decisions slow because you anticipate their reaction. Ideas soften because you are managing their fragility. A quiet self-erasure that no one in the room can see. A covert narcissist costs you what you cannot easily measure. Your unfiltered self. Visibility. Behavior changes over time, not vibes in the moment. Do not rely on a single bad moment. What? How they respond when you succeed. How they speak about you in your absence. Whether their support is offered or invoiced. Whether your truth is welcome when it does not center them. What happens when you say no, decline, or choose differently? If the pattern over time leaves you smaller, the relationship is not nourishing you. It is metabolizing you. Leaders who can name what they see. I notice this happens every time I succeed. I notice my wins always become about your feelings. I notice your support arrives with conditions I did not agree to. Stop being managed and start managing the dynamic on their own terms. A pattern is the portrait. One incident is just the brush stroke. Liberation. Trust your read. Liberation begins when you stop arguing with what your body has been telling you for months. It sounds like, my read is allowed to be enough. I do not need them to admit it for it to be real. The pattern is the proof. I don't need to wait for a confession. When you stop overriding your own perception, something opens in the body. The chest releases. The breath returns. You stop carrying a relationship you have been managing alone. You do not need a clinical diagnosis to recognize a cost. The cost itself is the diagnosis you need. Transformation, limited access, source your power elsewhere. The deepest move is not to confront the covert narcissist. It is to remove yourself from the dynamic. They cannot operate your life without your continued participation. You do not have to explain, justify, prove the pattern, convince them they are doing it, get them to admit anything. You only have to limit access, stop feeding the dynamic with your reactions, redirect your time, energy, and trust toward people whose support is unconditional and visible. Confrontation is rarely useful with a covert narcissist. They will reframe it. They will become the wounded party. You will end up apologizing for noticing. Do not enter that arena. Distance is the complete sentence. You do not owe a covert narcissist an explanation. You owe yourself a different room. The difference. A friend supports you and it's bigger when you grow. A covert narcissist supports you only when you stay smaller than they are. A friend celebrates your wins. A covert narcissist mourns them. A friend helps is freely given. A covert narcissist help is collected. A friend can hear your truth. A covert narcissist will turn your truth into evidence of their suffering. Real support feels expansive. Covert extraction feels heavy, even when the words are kind. How to protect yourself? Stop overriding your read. Your body has been keeping the receipts. Listen. Track behavior over time, not statements in the moment. They will say the right thing. Watch what they do over months. Limit what you give them access to. Information is currency to the covert narcissist. Your wins, your fears, your strategy, your relationships. They don't need a full picture of your life. Stop explaining yourself to them. Explanations are the opening for reframe. Your no does not require justification. Build your room with people who do not need you to be the center. Real allies celebrate for where they stand. They do not need to be more discerning, more wounded, or more humble than you in order to support you. You do not have to confront a covert narcissist. You only have to stop participating. Closing reflection. Whose support has been making you feel smaller? Whose presence requires you to manage their feelings more than I have ever asked them to manage mine? If I remove access from this person this week, what would my body do? Final truth. Beware of the one who insists on being the safest person in the room. Beware of the help that arrives with invisible terms. Beware of the support that goes silent when you grow. You do not need permission to walk away. You do not need a confession to lead. You do not need a clinical label to honor what you have seen. Your body has shown. Your discernment has been keeping receipts. Your read is allowed to be enough. Trusted, limited access. Build your room with people who can be glad for you without making your gladness about them. This is how you protect the version of you that is still becoming.